Hello, this webinar is on U.S. Payroll Healthcare Reporting, also referred to as ACA reporting. And these are some new requirements that are coming out now with the new requirements for healthcare the Affordable Healthcare Act. And there's different details you need to pull out of your system to identify full-time employees and other details when it comes to healthcare reporting. So this webinar, we're going to just look at a couple different reports you can pull out of our existing report generator in Jonas. So if we go under US Payroll Reports and Report Gen Design, and there's two types of reports we're going to look at today. So the first one we'll look at is hours detailed by period. So just as a little summary on using the report generator. So you have the option how you want to sort it by. So you can sort it by employee, department, whatever you want. If you want subtotals, you check the flag here. To get data, you have different options here. For the reports we're doing today, we want to use payment history so that we can specify a date range when we're running the reports. To get the information into the columns, you need to do an F2, or you can drag and drop from the fields over here. So if I go into the data row and hit F2, I have a list of all my codes here, and they're broken down into different categories. So you have your custom fields, and then you get into your employee field, so anything basically within the employee setup. Then you have actual deductions and earnings and hours that have taken place that year for the employee. You have your miscellaneous wages that we store, so the FUTA, Social Security, SUI. If you're unionized, you have union codes for all the fields that are set up in the union agreements. And then we have special codes that are under category X to do calculations, to pull in total earnings, to pull in pre-tax wages, to pull in number of pays. So a lot of different things you can do with the codes in here. Now the other option is supposed to do an F2 and selecting it. As you can go over here and click on the drop downs here and basically choose whatever item you want and just insert it into the report there. Now this report here that we're looking at, we've called hours detailed by period. Basically what this is going to allow us to do is run a report for a date range, and within that date range for each employee it's going to give a separate line for each pay period. So I'll be able to see each pay period's details for the information I ask in the report. So the key to be able to do that is in the first column you want to have this XPED field. So it just stands for pay ending date. And in the bottom here in the row in the calc, I've put in raw, and that's so the date will come across as year, month, day if you take it to Excel. So it makes it easier to sort it and condition it if you need to. Next column, I've chosen the department code. I have the employee code, last name, first name. And in this case, I'm pulling in regular hours, overtime hours, and then I'm also going to pull in hours worked. I'll just change the description so it says total hours. So again, X at HR would encompass all hours. So regular, overtime, double time, plus whatever you customize for our 3 other hour codes. And that's generally vacation, sick, holiday, PTO, something like that. Say OK. And if we go down to report gen print reports, so when I choose it, I'll be able to put in the date range I want to run it for. I can choose to run it just by the pay ending or by check date. And this one I'm going to pull into Excel so I can see it easier and condition it if I need to. So basically you can see here, so I have my first employee, it's showing all the pay periods they worked within that date range and the number of hours they worked within that range. So again, you can get, this case is just giving me hours, but really you can get any type of information that what's happened to the employee during the year, be it hours, earnings, deductions, whatever it may be, and it would list each pay period within that date range you run it for. So it's just a good overall report to pull the details in, kind of like a mass dump into Excel, and then you can look at the details in there and condition, move things around, sort things as necessary. Now the other report I want to show you is average hours. So again, this one I'm sorting by department, and I have set the subtotal. You don't have to sort it by department, that's just how I've done it. And then it's by, again, I'm looking at payment history for data for selected date range. So in this case, I have my employee code, first name, last name. I'm pulling in all the hour codes. Then it's X at PW. It says number of weeks, but it's actually number of pays. So if you're bi-weekly, it would be every 2-week period. If you're weekly, it's every week. If you're semi-monthly, it's every second period. So that's number of pays, and then I'm doing X at CA, which again is a calculation. And when you do X at CA, basically in the calc row, it's like Excel at this point. You're telling what cells you want to do a sort of a calc on. So I'm saying C4, which is where my hours worked, divided by C5, which is my pays worked, to give me my average hours. Now, if you're bi-weekly, for example, and you wanted this to be weekly, a weekly number, then you could just divide it by 2 in order to get a weekly number for the average hours. So we'll say OK. Go and run that report. Again, I'm putting in my date range. And this one will just view. And again, so you see now we have our employees. It's showing the hours worked for that range, the number of pays they worked, and what the average number of hours worked were. So definitely this is, I think, is a beneficial report to get to those figures that you're requiring for some of the healthcare reporting for sure. That's just an example of a couple reports you can pull through the report generator. So hopefully that will help with your ACA, your healthcare reporting in Jonas. Thank you very much.